Welcome. I'm Jordia Benjamin, Merkin Senior Coordinator of Programs and Audience Engagement at Colby College Museum of Art in Waterville, Maine. This is Artful Healing. Artful Healing is a part of the museum's wellness initiative under the larger program, Let Art Inspire. Our theme for the month has been Be Kind to Yourself, inspired by the large plate with chrysanthemum pattern. We have looked at this work of art through the lens of yoga, meditation, and finally, today we're here with healing, a creative hands-on experience. Now, before we dive into the activity portion of this program, let's first take a look at this work.
Hi, I'm Eileen Chung, Programs and Audience Engagement Intern at the Colby College Museum of Art. Today, we are looking at the large plate with chrysanthemum pattern, stoneware with green glaze, also known as Longquan ware. The Longquan kiln is one of the 6 famous kiln clusters of the Song dynasty. It was named so because of the famous celadon wares that were produced in the Longquan city of Zhejiang province. The Longquan celadon first appeared during the Three Kingdoms and Jing dynasty, and achieved its zenith in the middle and later period of the Southern Song dynasty. Its craftsmanship has aggregated the achievements of traditional Chinese porcelain making. Its elegant styles and glazing color make it a paradigm of the Song ceramic wares. The most striking feature of the Longquan celadon is its greenish or grayish-blue glaze, which resembles the quality of jade. The Longquan celadon features multiple layers of glaze, which means the potters reglaze the ware body for at least over 10 rounds to make the glaze thick, creating the jade-like gloss. Although the Longquan celadon bears multiple layers of glaze, its glaze doesn't appear heavy nor indistinct. In ancient China, people often use jade as a metaphor for good virtues. The pattern on the plate is a chrysanthemum. The lotus, orchid, bamboo, and chrysanthemum, 菊花, are regarded in China as the 4 gentlemen of flowers. Chrysanthemums in particular are associated with longevity and wealth, because the name sounds similar to the word 久, meaning long enduring. And infusions made from their petals are believed to have medical properties. Chrysanthemums represent autumn, and like peonies, are mentioned in Chinese literature as early as the 9th century BC.
Now, let's join our partner, Bodhi Simpson, a licensed art therapist who will lead us in this program.
Hello everyone, welcome to Artful Healing. My name is Bodhi Simpson and I'm an art therapist. As an art therapist, one of my roles is to assist people in learning how to create space to bring genuine kindness and self-compassion into their lives. The art we create can become a visual meditation that allows us to bring increased awareness and self-love and self-acceptance into our experiences. Today's creative practice is going to really help us to bring our attention to ourselves. We're going to be really learning how to tend to the needs of our own hearts. When we come into this world as children, we are wide open to life and to life's experiences. And depending on what we go through, there's some point in our lives where we feel hurt or we realize that there's suffering in the world. And this is painful, and so what happens is we start to learn how to close up our hearts in self-protection. But what happens is when we close off our own hearts to protect ourselves, we're also blocking ourselves from allowing love to really be fully given and fully received. Through our creative practice, we're going to start to learn how to notice when our heart is closed and how to open our own hearts so that we can bring genuine kindness and support and encouragement to ourselves along the way. Today's offering is not a substitute for therapy. This is a practice. If something comes up for you that's in need of deeper healing, please seek the support of a compassionate friend, family member, or therapist. And because today's offering is recorded, please pause the video at any time and resume with the video when you're ready to continue to the next step. To prepare, it's important that you find a safe, quiet space where you can create. Consider setting up a sanctuary at home that you visit each time you engage in your creative meditation practices. This would be a place where you can relax and focus, where you silence your cell phone and turn off technology. And it's a place and a time that you'll be sure you'll be uninterrupted for at least the next 30 minutes. While creating, it's important to trust what feels right for you. There's no right or wrong in this process. You're simply learning a new creative practice. You may leave with something that you like, that you can hang in your space, but really the most important part of this is really just learning the experience of opening your heart and also noticing when you have resistance to opening up your heart. I'm going to first ask that you gather your materials mindfully and lay them out near you. Today's recommended materials are a piece of paper for writing, a pen or a marker, scissors, a piece of string or a stapler, and about 8 to 10 pieces of non-glossy tissue paper. For today's practice, I'm recommending the color of green, but feel free really to choose any color that feels like love to you. You can modify the materials to fit what you have at home, or you can choose other materials that inspire you. We're going to take this time now and engage in a brief heart-opening visualization. What I'd like you to notice as we're engaging in the visualization and the creative practices moving forward is if there is any resistance in your body or in your mind. One way that we often block ourselves and close our own hearts is that based on some experience we've been through in our life, we have had some belief that we are really not worthy of our own love and attention. And what happens is when we believe that, we keep our own hearts closed. So if you have resistance, if you feel blocked through these practices, it's okay. They're called practices for a reason. So it's just continuing to bring your attention and your awareness to your experience and then practicing over and over and over. And what's going to happen is at some point, you'll start to feel a shift and you'll start to feel the difference of when you're feeling open versus when you're closing up. So what I'd like you to do to begin is put your feet flat on the floor. Just take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it, and breathe out down through your body, down into the earth, really anchoring and coming into our experience in our bodies. And what I'm going to have you do is just take your hands and you're just going to gently rub them together with the intent of creating love. And if it's easier, you can think about someone you love or a pet you love. But really allow the feeling of love to come into your heart, and it's going to extend down your arms and into your hands where you're really growing the energy of love. And then what I'd like you to do is just hold your hands a few inches out and just imagine that you're holding the warmth and nurturing and compassion of love in the palm of your hands. And what you're going to do now is you're going to take the love in your hands and you're going to bring them to your heart center, your heart chakra, right at the center of your chest. And I'd like you to just take a deep breath in and imagine breathing in this love to yourself from yourself. So you can now, this might be a time where you close your eyes gently or gaze down at the floor. I'm going to have you take a deep breath in through your nose. And this time what I'd like you to do is breathe out through your heart center. And as you breathe out, I'd like you to imagine that your heart center is a flower, a beautiful green flower. And with every out breath, your heart opens wider and wider and wider, just as a beautiful flower does when it's firmly planted in the soil and reaching up to the sun. Just allowing yourself safe space to really open. And And what you can start to do is just notice if you have resistance in your body, if you have self-defeating thoughts coming up in your mind. And what you can start to do is, as you take a deep breath in, you can imagine releasing the heavy emotions or the heavy thoughts out through your breath, where they just dissipate into the air. And you can imagine breathing in through your heart center and really opening and expanding to the experience and the feeling of kindness and love, passion. And if your eyes are closed, you might consider seeing if you can imagine in your mind's eye the vibrant color of green. Again, green is the color associated with the heart center. You can imagine now breathing in through your heart center and allowing your body to expand with the vibrant color of green, moving through your entire being. What'll start to happen is you'll start to feel this open, expanded, receptive state. You may start to feel a little bit more peaceful. Sometimes I feel a little warm and tingly. But what we're doing is we're really feeling into and embodying this metaphor of allowing space for our hearts to come into full blossom and learning how to live our lives with our hearts wide open. Because what can happen is we can start to see through the eyes of our own hearts. We can start to feel into experiences from a place of truth versus the beliefs that are blocking us or keeping us stuck. What I'd like you to do is see if you can practice holding this expanded state, holding your awareness and your attention to your own heart as you're engaging in your journaling and your creative practices. And again, if you notice yourself closing up or feeling resistance, not judging, maybe just simply noticing it and taking a deep breath, just bringing some gentle kindness and breath to that area. Because if in today's practice it's more about learning, that's okay. Or if you leave today's practice with your heart open, even just a little bit, then that will have been a huge success. So what I'd like you to do now is, again, you can open your eyes. You might consider just rubbing your heart again, just to really anchor in this experience. And I would like you to get out a piece of paper and a pen, a pencil, a marker, some kind of a writing utensil. Now that our hearts are open, we're going to take some time and we're going to write a love letter to ourselves and from ourselves. And although this may seem a little awkward and uncomfortable, this is going to be a great reminder that we are deserving of love and kindness just as much as anybody else, and especially really taking time to allow love and kindness to come from ourselves to ourselves. So what I'm inviting you to do is maybe write what your heart has needed to hear. You might write things that you're aware of around how you have neglected yourself, and really take time to feel into, if you were in a regular kind of a way going to be giving yourself this love and affection and gentleness, what would your heart need moving forward? What are the messages that your heart and your mind would be hearing if you were speaking to yourself from a place of love? Once you have finished your own love letter to yourself from yourself, really offering some kindness and caring, supportive words, what I'd like you to do is read through the letter and narrow down to about 1 to 3 messages or phrases that are important for you to be open to receiving moving forward. And you can write those on the back of your letter or on a separate paper. Once you've taken time to identify the messages that are important for your heart to receive moving forward, what I'd like you to do is you're going to grab a pen or a marker, and we are going to learn now how to tend to the gardens of our own heart. So what I'd like you to do is you're going to take these messages and you're going to write them in the center of your tissue paper. And what I'd like you to do is, as you write them, I'd like you to imagine that you're planting these seeds deep inside your own open and willing heart. And do this slowly and see if you can actually allow yourself to feel and believe the message that you're planting in your heart. It's going to be really important for you to have some part of you that actually believes these messages as you write them, for you to really receive them and not close off. So just take a moment and write them in there. I'm worthy of love. And breathe that in, right into your own heart. I'm a good person. And once you have written in and planted the seeds inside the center of your heart, just take a few moments and sit in your own physical being with that sense of your heart wide open. Just imagine breathing in these messages, and again, as we did in the visualization, imagine them expanding into every cell in your body. For this next step, you'll need to get out your scissors and your string, and again, you're sitting with your wide open heart. You've planted the seeds deep inside. And what we're going to do now is we are going to start to transform this tissue paper into our expression of our open hearts. So you're going to take the tissue paper and you're going to fold it accordion style back and forth so that the pieces are about 1.5 to 2 inches each. And I'll model that for you here. And you flip it. Okay, and once you've reached the end, you're going to fold this in half, and that's just simply so that we can tie our string or put our staple. So if you have a stapler, you can put a staple right here. I have string, so I'm going to tie that right in the center. Just helping bring this blossom of my own heart into form. Okay, so once you've reached this place, the next step is we are just going to one by one be pulling apart the tissue paper so that it starts to take the shape of a chrysanthemum that's wide open in blossom. And what I'd like you to do is, again, just imagine now we're taking this this felt experience, this imagined experience, and we're bringing it into tangible form, and we're creating a visual anchor of this experience. Kind of crunch it up as you go. And kind of shape it as you go. And you're going to continue with this process until your heart blossom, again, is wide open. So you're going to keep working with your petals until your blossom feels like it's open just right. And what I did is I ended up taking a little bit of tape on the sides just to have my blossom come into wholeness and not split apart. That felt right for me. And so feel free to be inspired to shift and change in any way you like for your blossom. But what is important to imagine now is that we have planted the seeds of self-love deep within our hearts. And just like with seeds, we don't know how long they take to fully come to blossom. Some take longer than others, but most importantly, it's important to give the seeds good soil and sunlight and plenty of water and nurturing as they begin to blossom. And so I'd like you to just consider this metaphor as you work with your self-compassion blossom. Maybe put this in your meditation space, in your office, and have it be that visual reminder of really giving yourself kindness and self-compassion and tuning into what you need and really remembering that you are worthy of your own love and kindness just as we all are. I hope that you enjoy your self-compassion blossom as much as I love mine. I feel like I want to wear it on my heart. I thank you all so much for joining us for this Artful Healing offering, and I'm so looking forward to seeing you next time. See you then.
I hope you have enjoyed today's program, and I invite you to follow us on all of our social media accounts at Colby Museum and visit us on our website, colby.edu/museum, to stay updated on all of our upcoming events, programs, and so much more. This concludes our Spring 21 Let Art Inspire programs. And like always, from our museum home to yours, take care, and I will see you in the fall for another Artful Healing.